Okay, we're live.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks, Dan. Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. It's 6:03 in the evening. This is a Board of Education regular meeting. The first item on the agenda is a verification of a quorum, which we have. If someone would like to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, I will. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic
to
for
the
which it
republic
stands,
stands
one
one nation
under God,
under God,
for
for
liberty and justice.
for all.
Thank you, everybody. The third item on the agenda is to approve the minutes. We have four to approve. The first is the meeting minutes from the December 19th, 2022 Weston Board of Education regular meeting. Are there any changes anyone would like to make? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the December 19th, 2022 regular meeting?
I so move.
Is there a second?
A second.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
Hi,
Aye.
Sharon.
Hi, Chad.
Aye, Steve.
Hi, Melissa.
Great. Any opposed? We have approved the minutes for December 19th. The second is the meeting minutes for January 6th, 2023 for our Board of Education workshop. Are there any comments or changes to those minutes? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes for January 6th, 2023?
I so move.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thanks, Chad. All those in favor?
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Steve. And Melissa's on mute. Okay, got it. Any opposed? Hearing none. The minutes for the January,
Melissa, sorry.
no problems. The January 6th, 2023 meeting are approved. The next in the meeting minutes for January 11th, 2023 of the Weston Board of Education Public Forum #1. Are there any changes to those meetings of January 11th?
I wish it were longer and better attended, but aside from that, no, and I move to approve those meetings, the minutes.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any opposed? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the January 11th Public Forum workshop?
Hi, Sharon.
And I need a second.
A second.
Okay,
Hi, Melissa.
all those in favor? Aye, Steve,
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
and Melissa already
Hi,
agreed.
Melissa.
And lastly, the meeting minutes from the January 12th, 2023 Weston Board of Education workshop. Any changes to the minutes of January 12th? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve?
Chad, it's your turn.
I so move.
Second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Melissa.
And I, Steve, minutes are approved. The next agenda item is Student Board of Education Representative comments.
Hi. So
Hey.
as you guys might know, we're in the middle of midterms right now. We just started them today and they've been changed to 90 minutes, so slightly shorter than past years. Our whole school is kind of rallying together to like help everyone get through the week. We have like National Honor Society is running study sessions, and like PTO and student government have been handing out things in between tests just to alleviate some of the stress.
Other things going on in the high school right now is Miss Ward and the rest of the administration has been working to change like our advisory period. In the past, we've just been like using it sporadically throughout the year to like meet and discuss certain things. But instead now we're changing the name to PAC. I forget what the acronym is exactly for, but we're meeting every Wednesday, and we're planning on trying to do like more school spirit related stuff and just make that a more consistent part of everyone's schedules. And in addition to that, in the beginning of February, student government is running a Super Bowl drive, basically just around the Super Bowl, get people to donate cans of soup, and we'll give that to person to person. We are hoping on extending that beyond the high school and trying to get either the WIS or the middle school involved, but it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, that's about it.
Great. Any questions for Emma or Josh? Thanks a lot. I guess you need to go back and study. Good night. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item number 5, which is public comment. Jody,
We do not have anybody waiting for public comment at this time.
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Item number 6 is recognition. Lisa, is this yours
Yes.
or? Okay.
Yes, well, I'm going to be turning it over actually to Principal Ward. We are going to talk about some wonderful gifts that the Weston High School PTO has donated. Megan, if you could please take us through the gifts.
Yes, so we're very excited and thankful for our PTO as the kids, Emma and Josh, shared that they're providing hot chocolate all week, and they're always great partners. And
Kind of froze there, Megan.
Megan, I think you're frozen.
Well, we know they have hot chocolate.
One of the-
Always good for studying.
So the PTO has wants to provide funding for vinyl graphics that will go on the front doors and windows of the high school. And the purpose of the graphics are to contribute to school spirit. And Megan, are you back? Oh, you're back.
You're muted though.
Megan, unmute, please.
okay, sorry.
I just started with the graphics to fill in the time. Take it away.
Okay, so we are very, sorry about that. We are very excited we're working with a company called Go Graphics, and the PTO has been very supportive of this effort. Mr. Berkowitz has also been working with the boosters. So we're going to, I don't know if the pictures were in the board. Okay, so the graphics are a perforated vinyl, and the perforated vinyl has the images of the Trojan or the Weston W. And what they do, they're for the front doors of the high school and the main doors, and for the front doors of the athletics area. The perforated vinyl allows us from inside to see out, but it doesn't allow folks to see through. This is popular in a lot of area high schools, and it helps to portray our brand kind of more publicly, and it looks really nice, and it is an added layer of security. So between the PTO and the athletic boosters, they are funding these areas for both parts of the building.
Thank you.
Okay. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take questions. I can also move on to the TV and soundbar. I
Please.
can move on. Okay. The PTO has also graciously donated funds to support Erin Wilson, one of our PE and health teachers, wrote a grant to have a TV, a large screen TV on a rolling cart, and the PTO graciously added a sound bar, taking into consideration how important that will be for our students. We can roll this TV on a cart in between our two gyms and in other areas where our PE and health classes take place. So this will really help with some demonstration videos. It'll help get kids active in multiple ways in both of our gymnasiums and other areas, as I said. So we're very thankful to the PTO for their support.
And I believe it's going to support the CPR, correct? as
Yes,
well as the
among other
mannequins.
activities.
And just to note, every student gets certified in CPR, which is a great thing, actually, at the school.
No, that's great. Are there any questions of Megan? Can I have a motion to accept the donation of $1,939.06 for vinyl graphics for the front doors and windows of Weston High School?
I so move.
Second, Sharon?
I second, yeah.
All those in favor?
Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Melissa.
And I, Steve. Any opposed? Thank you. And the second is to accept the Weston High School PTO donation of up to $2,000 for an 85-inch smart television cart. It's got to be a big cart and a sound bar. Do I have a motion to accept the donation from the Weston PTO?
I so move.
Chad?
I second.
Great. All those in favor?
Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Melissa.
And I, Steve. Any opposed? Thank you. New business. Lisa?
Yes, the first thing we have is the consent agenda that was prepared by Human Resources Director Terry Kavanaugh, and I'd just like to take you through it. We have two hires. One started today. The first is Margaret Hogan, and she is the Administrative Assistant Scheduler in PPS. You'll recall that was something that we have been actively pursuing, and we are just so pleased that Margaret started today and is working closely with our other scheduler to help us with that. You may recall that we wanted to have two, one secondary and one elementary, and that's what we're working towards. The second new hire is Diana Marchetti. She is a special education teacher. She will be at Weston Middle School, and she will be starting at the end of this month, replacing the special education teacher who resigned. There are no retirements. There was a resignation. Michelle O'Connor, who is our BCBA behavioral analyst between the middle school and the high school. She will be leaving us the first week in February. Michelle took a position in another Connecticut district closer to her home. And that's it for the consent agenda.
Thank you. Can you move to the next item, Lisa?
Yes, we have the pupil personnel services and special education update with Tracy Edwards. Tracy?
Good evening, everybody. That's actually a good segue to my first update. We have been very busy in our department with staffing and hiring, and I know that Lisa just stepped through the consent agenda, but I wanted to highlight the positions that have been filled in approximately the last month. The BCBA position at Hurlbut. We had an open PT position, which has been filled. Lisa just spoke about the administrative assistant position and the middle school special education teacher. We also already have a plan in place that will be communicated shortly regarding the BCBA position for the middle school and high school. And we're continuing, of course, to interview aggressively for the other open positions. I just wanted to highlight that some of these positions are district hires and some of these positions are contracted hires, just to be clear about what that means. When we have a contracted hire, it means that we're working through an agency for that particular position, but that person is still required to have all of the credentials that we would expect of any staff member that we're onboarding to the district. So we're extremely fortunate that we have a number of very qualified and experienced new members of our school community. The other update that I wanted to share is regarding the next special education parent meeting. A district communication went out last Friday afternoon. Our next parent meeting will be on January 30th. Important note that this month's meeting will be virtual. It begins at 4 o'clock, and we are very lucky to have Eric Brudvig, our transition coordinator, as our speaker that evening. He'll be talking about transition programming for students. He is a wealth of knowledge and a great asset to our district. So I encourage families to join that discussion. And then finally, we had an open house today at Hurlbut for our Early Learning Center program. Our lottery is next week. We have lots of interested families, which is wonderful. And we will be in communication with families about spaces in the program in the next couple of weeks and our plans for next school year. And that's it for me tonight.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Tracy? Phil, Finance and Operations.
Good evening, everyone. The last update we gave was back as of October. Since then, we have had some positive movements. So for the change between October and December, we have approximately a $515,000 change. The majority of that, we had some minor adjustments to salaries, primarily driven by turnover and FMLA savings. We had overall savings in insurance, both for workers' comp and our general insurance policies. In addition to that, also some savings, premium savings for athletic insurance. Included in the savings for insurance is an equity distribution from our insurance carrier, Kerma, to the tune of approximately $17,935. At our finance subcommittee meeting on Friday, we had a very detailed discussion about the various changes in the SPED, tuition settlements and transportation, which has resulted in some significant savings. I just want to pause here real quick, and maybe Tracy, you want to just give a further update on this, please?
Yes, absolutely. So we have seen a number of unanticipated changes in both the tuition settlement agreement line and the out-of-district tuition line. Let me start first with the out-of-district tuition line. We are seeing an increase in the number of placements allocated in that line, but as I explained to the Finance Committee last week, there's a significant variation in the cost of those programs. And so despite the fact that we're seeing an increase in the number of placements, we're actually seeing a slight decrease in terms of overall cost. At the same time, because we're seeing an increase in the number of placements, we're seeing an associated increase in transportation costs. In terms of district settlement line, there's been a number of changes that have been a factor for why that number looks different, including students moving out of district, changes in students' needs, students exiting the program for other reasons. So that's the rationale behind the current year budget.
Thank you, Tracy. We also had some positive adjustments in revenue offsets. We're seeing better than expected increase in tuition, both for non-resident and also for pre-K, also at the pre-K level as well. We're seeing a slight better than expected, again, results for Medicaid reimbursement. So when you couple the savings that we're seeing, the 515 plus what we already anticipated, we're looking at an overall savings or projected savings or end of year balance of $719,000. Just want to emphasize there is a schedule that's attached, which kind of breaks down all the various reasons, the various line items that attributed to that 719 surplus. You will notice that the vast majority of that are really items that we could not anticipate during the budget for this current fiscal year. And as Tracy, as you saw, the majority of that has to do with tuition and settlements. So again, we're looking at a projected end of the year balance of $719,000. And I just want to just as a segue to fiscal 24, this money that's available to us right now can be used to pre-purchase items for fiscal 24, and which will help to mitigate the budget for fiscal 24.
Right, and that was part of a conversation we had last Friday.
Correct. Moving on to the Internal Services Fund. The fund is trending as anticipated, and that is the update for the month.
Any questions for Phil or Tracy? Can I have a motion to vote on the December 2022 financial report?
I move that we, the Board of Education, approve the December 2020 financial report.
Great. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm Melissa.
And I, Steve. Oh, hi. Hi, Melissa. Any
Peter.
dissents? Oh, hey, Peter. I can't see you on the screen. That's great. Thank you. That passes. Old business?
Hello.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. We need to go back to one of the items, the earlier items. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather and I missed it. The consent
Sure.
agenda needs to be voted on and
Approved.
approved. If you could kindly do that, the agenda
Oh.
of the 2 new hires and the resignations, please.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Do I, Sharon?
I so move.
Okay, second.
I second.
All those in favor?
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm Melissa.
Peter.
Hi, Steve. Any opposed? The consent agenda passes. So now we're moving on to old business. The Board of Education policies, regulations, and bylaws. It's a second read.
That's correct. There are 3 policies that are up for a second read and vote. The first one has to do with separation of church and state and ceremonies and observances. Melissa, I don't know if you as the chair of this committee want to take us through it, the process?
Sure. These are all second reads, so we've discussed them and looked at them at our last meeting. Let me just pull up my documents. Ceremonies and observances. This was just a policy that really hadn't been reviewed in I think 15, 20 years. It was raised, after we heard some feedback from a community member. We added some additional language to address issues related to, celebrating holidays and other occurrences where students would be out of school. And we think that the new policy is a little bit more clear in terms of how that operates. So we did not receive any feedback from the community or from board members, but if anyone would like to discuss it further, I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, we can vote to pass it.
Any comments, questions? Can I have can we vote on the Western Board of Education policies, regulations, and bylaws? Do I have a motion to approve?
Move that the Western Board of Education accept policy regulation series 5000 students. Oops, that's not the right one. Policy 6115 ceremonies and observances.
Do I have a motion?
I
to approve?
second.
Okay.
Melissa just made the motion. I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Sharon.
I'm Melissa.
Peter.
Hi, Steve. Any opposed? That passes. The next is a discussion and vote of new mandatory policy regulation series 5000, students' completion rates of the free application for federal student aid.
Right. I'm happy to, we brought this up for first read last meeting as well. I'm happy to refresh everyone's recollection. This is a policy that did not exist before, and it's a mandatory policy issued by the state. It really applies to the state's initiative to kind of promote equal access to student information and student financial aid. So it's pretty straightforward, and it's necessary for us to be in compliance with it. Does anyone have any questions regarding that? I did not receive any feedback.
No.
Okay.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Sure. I move that the Western Board of Education accept and approve policy regulation series 5000 students completion rates of the free application for federal student aid.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Chad. All those in favor?
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Melissa.
Peter.
And I, Steve. Any opposed? Thank you. That passes. The third item, is the third one?
Yep, that's correct.
Um,
It's policy 5114, student discipline. So
Right.
I'm happy to discuss that one as well. This came up in the context of the policy committee's initiative to go through our periodically and our policies that receive the most views and are utilized the most, and make sure that they are using inclusive language where appropriate. So that was the impetus behind looking at this policy. Based on some of the feedback that came up. So first of all, we did do that. We added all the inclusive language into the policy. Secondly, from last month's board meeting, there was some robust discussion around the student discipline policy. So, I can speak to some of those issues that were raised with respect to how the policy is administered and the notice provisions that exist for it. So basically that the policy is very clear. It gives the administrator some discretion in terms of how to mete out punishment when a policy of the board is violated by a student, or if there's been a serious disruption of the educational process. The administrator will conduct an investigation, the administrator will notify parents, and the decision will be made. If it's an expulsion, there's a hearing, there's a variety of detailed procedures that are in place to explain the formal hearing related to the expulsion. And if it's a suspension, there's an informal hearing where the student has the opportunity to present their case. And there's also certain provisions for if the IDEA is implicated and how that relates to the votes, to the punishment that's meted out. So I think the policy is actually pretty clear, but I'm happy to answer any questions if some still exist. Otherwise, we can vote on it.
Questions for Melissa? A motion to approve policy regulation 5114, student discipline.
Sure. Move that the Western Board of Education approve policy regulation 5114, student discipline.
Is there a second?
I
Thank you,
second.
Sharon. All those in favor?
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Melissa.
Peter.
Peter? Hi, Steve. Any opposed? Thank you. And the next is a discussion and a vote on the policy regulation 1250, visitors and observations.
Yes, this was also up for a second read. This just is a policy that explains the circumstances by which visitors can come into the schools, whether it's to conduct an examination related to an evaluation of a student, whether it's parents, for whatever reason. It's important for the schools to have some control over how and when visitors are permitted within the building. It's also important to be clear to the parent and community what those circumstances are, and that's what this policy does.
Terrific. Questions for Melissa? We have a motion to approve the policy and regulation 1250, visitors and observations.
Yes, move that the Western Board of Education approve policy regulation 1250, visitors and observations.
Terrific. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thanks, Chad. All those in favor?
Hi, Sharon.
I Chad.
I'm Melissa.
I Peter.
And I, Steve. Any opposed? Hi, Peter. Thank you very much. Lisa? Superintendent's update?
Thank you, Steve. Late last week, I believe it was at the Finance Committee, so it could come up in that update. We met with representatives from Full Court Peace and the Weston Basketball Association. Mr. Aziz was there, Mr. Cross, Ms. Walker. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone. And the purpose of the discussion was because Full Court Peace, which is an organization that had been founded by Mike Evans, who was a former Weston High School graduate, and I had the pleasure of teaching quite a few years ago. And what Mr. Evans does in this organization is they refurbish basketball courts around the world. They've done a lot of work in Cuba, in Ireland, and they are proposing to do to help refurbish the court that is over by central office with support from the WBA. And this will be a joint venture with our students also helping, which I especially like that idea. Students in the basketball program, and it's in combination with also refurbishing a court for the Danbury Public Schools. So we entered into some preliminary conversations because they are interested in doing a fundraising to support this. The students at the high school that are involved in this club want to do it, and we certainly think it would be very worthwhile project. So more to follow. I don't know. Steve, if you have anything else to add, or Phil?
No, that was part of our meeting on Friday, and it's a gift to the town, and not only fiscally, but including students in the whole process. So, from my vantage point, I think it's a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, I would agree. I especially like the component, and I'm sure Ms. Ward does as well, where our students are actively, it's a community service project, and to be able
Right.
to partner with another school district on something like that. And so they were letting us know that these are the plans. They want to get underway, so more to follow, and they're committed to fundraising efforts. And I think that as someone whose office overlooks the court, and Phil, your office does, as well, so does Terry's, anybody in the back there, it's constantly used. I mean, the kids are always on it. People are on it on the weekends. You go there, it's really a great facility for the town. So I wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to give was just a very quick budget update. Mr. DeVito, if you please. On this Thursday, right, the 19th, we have our Board of Education Forum number 2. And I want to draw attention to the fact we are really trying to put out as much information as possible to the public so that they can read through not only the budget, but supporting documents to get a sense of what this budget supports. If you could click on the link, it's right on the front page of the website. Just want to do this for our viewing audience. You see there's historic budgets that are all listed there, but up top there's the 23-24 budget, and then there's all kinds of supplemental documents, the presentation, a document about what are the drivers of the budget, the Board of Ed questions. We answered all of them in great detail. A technology integration report, a report on the SIL, sustainability updates, the middle school academic workshop update. There had been some questions about middle school labs and what goes on in the labs. We have pro forma budget documents there. We have capital comparisons there, grant summaries and explanations, a great deal of information. And as I said, and also the budget, which is pages and pages. If I were trying to get a flavor for what the budget supported, or how does this budget support my child, I would look specifically at the the supplemental documents first, because it kind of synthesizes a lot of information and gives you, as I said, it sort of paints a picture. And then if you want to delve deeper into the numbers and looking very specific, the budget is there for you. So I would encourage the public to do so, to familiarize themselves with that. And as I said, the form number 2 is this week, Thursday, January 19th. It starts at 6 p.m. and that will be on Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes,
So we will certainly get the link out. And then, we move into next week where hopefully at a special meeting, we will be able to move forward and you will approve and adopt the budget. I guess I just want to reiterate that we are committed to providing the board with as much information as possible regarding the budget. Hence that site and everything posted for the towns to see. We will also be visiting, I'm going to PTO meetings over the next few weeks, as usual, going to faculty meetings in the different buildings, trying to answer any questions, explain anything that we can to be able to do that. So that is the budget update. As Director of Finance, Mr. Cross always says, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and we go through the entire process, which will end hopefully in late April with the vote. So that's the update on my superintendent's update. So we can move on to committee reports unless there's any questions.
no, that's great. Thank you very much. The Communications Committee?
You know what,
do-
Dave isn't here.
David's
and
not here.
Yeah,
Sharon,
he's the
can you
chair of the
give us an update?
committee. Chad, do you want to take it or do you want me to?
Sure, I can jump in. There's nothing much to report, in large part because we didn't actually have our January meeting because it conflicted exactly with one of the budget workshops. So after trying to reschedule the meeting, we ended up delaying and we're going to meet next month. So that's the full update on that particular committee for this month, at least.
Yes.
Great. The Curriculum? Committee?
Yeah, I can actually jump in and take that one as well, since Bernie's not here. A couple of quick points to make. We had a very productive meeting and learned about some field trips that are being approved, or that were approved, I should say, that whereas we're returning to more like live sort of events and things like that, as well as some focus on Model UN. There is one point it's worth taking 90 seconds to mention as well. Megan Ward walked us through. I think every single person in the meeting was happy to report a pretty astonishing document of the program of studies, the current version. I say astonishing because I think Megan was very clear about how this is really not a brand new effort, but rather a sort of, renovation and a sort of rebranding and repackaging so it's even easier to digest and to absorb. But for those of us to whom the document was new, myself included, it's a pretty impressive document. If you don't yet know it well, I really invite the public who's listening and also those of us on this call who had not to this point been familiar with it. I liken it much more to like an incredible undergraduate sort of syllabus for a course that might have many, many offerings. It really is pretty impressive in terms of both the amount of offerings and also the depths that they go into. The reason I mentioned this whole thing is because the conversation was interesting enough that I can't remember exactly who floated the idea. It may have been Dr. Henkel, but we talked about, is there a way to actually communicate more broadly about this as a real demonstration of the ways in which Weston is really exemplary and exceptional. So I've now put that as an agenda item on the Communications Committee, which circles back to the previous point. And we'll be taking that up as an agenda item on our next meeting is, can we use this document, the Program of Studies document, to broadcast even more about all the great things that are happening at Weston? So with that, I think that would take care of the curriculum one as well.
That's great. Peter, the EOC?
Well, we didn't cover this in our Friday meeting, but as predicted, the headwinds of winter break in budget season sort of are pushing against us, but we'll circle back to that. And I'll have an interesting report for that committee after a February 2nd meeting I'm having in San Francisco, actually, that may assist our process. So I'll fill everyone in then as a teaser.
Okay.
And we'll have to schedule that meeting soon, right, Superintendent, so we can get it back on the calendar.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Peter. The Finance and Operations Committee, we covered some of the topics that we discussed last Friday, the basketball court, the update on finances, the other, we talked about update on the athletic fields and facilities. And then we talked about a bid to evaluate the parking lots at for the schools. There, Phil, do you want to just go into that briefly, and we can just make everyone aware of it?
Sure. So we did issue an RFP about 2 months ago, just to get some additional pricing and for services for all the asphalt within the district. We got results from 3 vendors. We went with Beta Group. Beta Group was the low bidder for the project. In addition to being the low bidder for the project, the Beta Group is also the company or the engineering firm that the town uses to do the assessment on the roads for the town. So there's a benefit there because the Beta Group also maintains a database of all our roads within the town. And they will also include the Board of Education facilities in that database as well. So we have approved and we're moving forward with getting the analysis done. The implication with that for fiscal budget year 24 is that we have a proposal or recommendation to repave the parking lot at the middle school. However, if the report from Beta Group says something different, we will need to change our recommendations based on that.
Yeah, and just adding to that, I think everyone is aware that the town, via the Board of Finance, a couple of years ago, maybe it's kind of lose time in COVID years, but before the pandemic, engaged the Beta Group to inspect all the town roads. And one member of the Board of Finance, Jeff Farr, really led that project. And I know Phil and Jeff have been in discussions on this project as well. And Jeff is aware of what we're doing and has offered his assistance. And I think the consistency between what the town has done with the Beta Group and what we're anticipating doing will be helpful. Is there anything to add to that, Phil? I mean, I don't think so.
I think that pretty much covers it. Just one more thing, that in addition to just giving a recommendation for what lot needs to be paved when, the Beta Group is also going to be providing within this report their recommendation for ongoing maintenance of the lots and of the general asphalts in district.
Terrific. Any questions for that? Cooperative Educational Services. I'm not.
That's David.
Yeah, that's David, as is the next. Lisa?
I'm sorry.
The next two is David, I take it.
CES is David. I know that he went to the meeting with all of the reps, and I think the big topic was they were talking about the budgets and things like that and comparing towns. And that's kind of it. Is Cabe Burney?
Yes.
I believe so, and she's not here today.
She's not here either, yeah.
And then the last is the Western Educational Foundation.
Who is that?
That's me. And you know what,
I think we lost Sharon.
And just as we're getting to the good part.
Patty, you were at the meeting. Was there anything interesting? You're our rep for the administrators.
At the Education Foundation, we
Yeah.
just did a recap of the Wizards game. Making a really good, we sold over 1,000 tickets. So it was a really great event. We plan on doing it again next year, and then we'll see if we want to keep doing it yearly, we want to skip a year. That was really our big, and then they talked a little bit about the 2 new awards that they'll be giving out to the seniors this year.
Oh, Sharon, you're back. Do you want to add anything?
I'm back. No, you know what? Patty went to the meeting. I wasn't able to attend the meeting because I was actually on a flight. So thank you, Patty, for sharing. They have 2 new awards. One is for a senior, one is for a junior, though. That's the only thing that I changed. But yeah, no. So thank you, Patty. I appreciate that.
What's the award about? The awards about? I forget. Megan, do you know? I remember reading that.
I don't have the descriptions off the top of my head, but I did work. I can pull them up if everyone wants to give me a minute, or I can.
I think it has to do with innovation, doesn't it? Like
it does, but it's not innovation in the way we might think of innovation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I don't want to.
Sure. That's okay.
I'll have it for next time. I could do a little aside next time, maybe, because they are 2 really nice awards, and we wanted to make sure that they didn't duplicate any existing awards.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they wanted to do one that was for a junior, one that was for a senior, just primarily because seniors get a monetary award with their or monetary gift with their award, and the juniors get a book that's like in line with their award. And one of the things we talked about was that these awards are given out to students as seniors, but it helps financially. But at the same time, there can be awards given out for all the work that these students have done getting to their through their junior year that will actually hopefully help them in their application process. So they can show that they've been exemplary. So that was one of the reasons why we want to do one for a junior and one for a senior.
I have the 2 quick descriptions.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Megan.
Okay. So one award recognizes a current Weston High School junior who's consistently displayed a significant level of innovation and creativity in or out of the classroom. The recipient is an individual who, over the course of his or their time so far at Weston High School, has demonstrated an out-of-the-box approach to ideas, an innovative problem solver, consistently exhibiting perseverance in tackling new concepts and ideas. The second one is named for Elizabeth Stokes, who's a longtime Weston resident and founder of the Weston Education Foundation, and it celebrates a graduating a graduating Weston High School senior who has provided a unique learning experience outside the classroom to members of the school community. By this, WEF hopes to encourage, engage, and empower students as leaders and innovative problem solvers. And really, they're looking for someone who is a dynamic self-starter and positive member of the school community.
Great award to honor Liz.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
And when we're on, now that we're on fundraising, I know Dan or Lisa, do you want to just remind everyone about the middle school fundraiser that's taking place at the end of the week?
Mr. Doak.
Sure. I actually sent some out to all of my staff and families as a reminder. There is a Weston Middle School a PTO fundraiser this Friday at the Field Club. And I think the information is easily accessible for anybody who's looking. It's really their major fundraiser to support all of the philanthropy donations that support teaching and learning at the middle school.
Yeah, and if you look at the website, you can see where some of the donations have taken place. It's almost $80,000, and so it's it's very significant.
Fantastic! I hadn't seen that. That's great. I'm really happy for them. That's a huge win for them.
Yeah, it's great. If there's not anything else, the next item on the agenda is just a list of the balance of the budget hearings that'll be taking place between now and April. Is there any other business to come before the board? No? Anybody?
No.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh.
You can only, you want to just vote for everybody now, Sharon? Do I have a
I'm gonna
second?
vote right now. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning here. I'm tired.
Yeah, it's dinner time for you. Do I have a second?
I
Second,
second.
please.
Right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
please, right. All those in favor?
Hi, Chad.
I'm
Hi,
Melissa.
Sharon.
Peter.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Everyone,
I'll
good
see
night.
you. I'll be home. I'll be home